we are live. Wonderful, wonderful. Okay, hello everyone that has joined us so far. Thank you so much for tuning in, and happy Webinar Wednesday here at Lulu. So if you have tuned in today, if you can hear me, let me know. Let me know that you can hear and we're coming through, and you should be seeing a beautiful lady with self-published with Fiverr on the screen. So I'm going to give you a second. If anyone can hear me or see the slides, if you could just type a comment into the chat and let me know that we are here, that you're here, that you can hear us. I'll give you a second to get that started. Also, whenever you let us know that we are, oh, Marianne, thank you. Icebreaker, Marianne, gold star for you to let us know that you hear us. So, hi. Oh, hi, Hila. From inside of Fiverr. That's good support there. So thank you everyone that is saying they can hear us. Oh, great. And you can see the slide. Paul, appreciate you. Thank you, Nancy. So where's everybody from? Let's hear where you guys are joining us from. And while you share that, I'll go ahead and introduce you to our speaker. So today we are joined by Alex from Fiverr. Alex has been kind enough to join us today and will walk us through Fiverr's platform. So if you're not familiar with Fiverr, it's an amazing marketplace for freelancers. Specifically today, we will be talking about how you can use Fiverr to bring your publishing dreams to fruition. So if you're familiar with Lulu, thank you. And maybe you came across Fiverr on our partners page. So if you haven't checked that out, you can go to lulu.com/partners to see all the providers we have. Fiverr is very prominent on that page, and we're excited to have them. So we've got up here at the top of the chat, and thank you guys so much for hopping in and letting me know that I'm not alone here. So we've got Southern California, Houston, Texas, Tel Aviv, Dallas, Illinois, home of Popeye the Sailor Man. Well, today I learned. You learn something new every day. Only on the Lulu webinars can you learn something new every day. So thank you for that, Michael. We got Long Island, North Carolina. Beautiful. So again, at the top of the chat, you will see, ooh, London, England. I was just saying, Stephen, I was just there a year ago. Joined you guys for a very brief stint right before all the borders started closing. So don't worry, I did get back home, but it was a great visit. So if you look at the top of the chat, you'll see that we have pinned the coupon code that Fiverr is very generously offering to our audience today. So Lulu F10 will get you 10% off first-time purchases on Fiverr. So before I turn it over to Alex, I do just want to note that we will be taking questions. So you are obviously already familiarizing yourself with the chat. Anytime any questions pop up, please drop them in the chat. And once Alex gets through her presentation, then we'll go ahead and take questions at the end. So feel free to drop them in there as we go along. And without further ado, I will turn it over to Alex.
Hi, everyone. Thank you very, very much for having me here. My name is Alex. I'm really, really excited to be joining this webinar and to meet you and share how you can grow your self-publishing dream and how you can leverage Fiverr in order to do that. So to get us started, I'll just give you some background about who the person behind the screen is. So as mentioned, my name is Fiverr. Wow, not Fiverr. My name is Alex. I'm actually celebrating tomorrow my first year anniversary at Fiverr. Before that, I was in the world of hospitality and fintech, working as a tech scout and as a business development manager. I somehow found my way to the world of writing and translation at Fiverr. I'm originally from Spain. Maybe you can tell from my accent, but I've actually spent the last 8 years in Tel Aviv, where I'm currently living and working from, and it's also one of the headquarters of Fiverr. So I'm the vertical manager for writing and translation, which in a nutshell means that I'm doing everything that I can to adapt our catalog of services to different market needs, and also trying to find a way of making Fiverr the go-to place for all freelance content writing services. So some of you may have heard about Fiverr. Some of you may have not, but Fiverr on a broader scale is a global marketplace that connects freelancers and businesses for digital services. So basically, we are changing the world and how it works together. And now that you're joining us, you're also a part of that. So whenever you place an order with a Fiverr freelancer, you're contributing to this big vision. And as you navigate either just starting your book business or you're growing it, you're part of something much, much greater. So I want to share more things about Fiverr and also how to help you get your book publishing dream to the next level. So let's get to it. First of all, why Fiverr? You could probably go anywhere else in the world to find someone to help you complete your book publishing dream. And the reason why Fiverr is a good solution for you is because we connect businesses of all sizes with skilled freelancers offering digital services in more than 500 categories across 8 different verticals, including digital marketing, writing and translation, video and animation, and other business-specific areas. So often, when your business is getting started, you'll need something done that is just not within your wheelhouse. And that's where Fiverr comes in. We let you take these tasks off your plate at a reasonable price point so you can go back to working on your business or your field of expertise instead of just getting stuck with things that are not necessarily your bread and butter. So to kind of summarize what we're going to cover in the next few minutes is 1, mapping out the relevant services connected to the book world that you can find in Fiverr. Then how can you actually choose a freelancer and communicate with that person? And some tips and next steps to guide you through the process. We'll also do some kind of live demo so you guys can see how the website works and how I would use it in order to find the right partner for my project. One important thing to know is that we have, as I mentioned earlier, about 500 services that we're offering in the marketplace, and a nice amount of them are related to the book world, and this is actually why we're here. So if I have to run through the list of services that we offer in the company that are connected to this world, we find Kindle Niche Research, which is basically helping you find hot topics that are trending on Amazon if you want to make some side income through book publishing. Second is ghostwriting. You might be familiar with it, hiring a person to write the content for you. Book proposals, if you want to send it to an editing company. Book editing, if you want to make sure that it's ready for publishing. Book cover design, if you're not a writer, if you're a writer, but you're not really a good designer and you want to make sure that your book is ready for publishing and printing, then you probably want to hire a designer. And also, if you want to design the inside of those pages, we also have book layout and typesetting services. And if you want to grow it and promote it, we have book and ebook marketing services. And if you want to take it a whole step further, you can also create your book trailer. So as we offer all kinds of services across all domain expertise and fields, and we invite you to check them out and to navigate Fiverr in order to do that. So the big question is, how do I find the right freelancer? As mentioned, with over 500 categories and many, many incredible freelancers, the process can be a little bit overwhelming. And you actually want to make sure that your next partner is the best fit for your vision. So I'm going to share with you guys some methods and some tips on how to find the right person for you. There are 5 main elements to take into consideration when finding and narrowing down the freelancers. The main ones are quality, service, communication, timeline, and budget. The first 3, quality, service, and communication, are very closely related. The freelancers have proven track records and can deliver a top quality product. And we have internal rating systems that can allow you to further vet the talent. That way, you'll be able to identify through the way that you'll be able to identify it will be through seller levels on our website. So let's guide you through those levels. Levels are here displayed right under the picture of the freelancer, and there are 3 tiers. Level 1 means that there are 10 orders that have been completed on time, and that they receive a minimum rating of 4.7 on a scale from 1 to 5, which is pretty good. Level 2 has completed a minimum of 50 orders on time and same minimum rating. And level 3 has completed at least 100 orders on time, same rating level on a scale of 1 to 5, and also meets some internal quality factors that we measure at Fiverr, which is a great indication of a good freelancer to choose to work with. There are a few other quality indicators that I want to tell you about, which are the badges. We have 3 badges that you'll be able to see while browsing the services. One is Rising Talent, one is Fiverr's Choice, and the last one is Pro Verified Sellers. Rising Talents are rotating. They're actually manually chosen and recommended by our Fiverr editors. Fiverr's Choice are also rotating selection, and they are freelancers that we trust for their quality of work and delivery, and they're auto-detected by our system and recommended for their high-quality services. The last one is Fiverr Pro Freelancers. These ones are hand-vetted with a proven track record and known for offering VIP services. These freelancers have actually gone through a very thorough process for application and consideration before they're named a pro and approved in the marketplace. Typically, these sellers will be a bit more expensive than the typical seller that you'll find in the marketplace, also because their experience really speaks for their talent, and they earn that badge. So some of the things to note are that the badges will be displayed on the freelancer's gigs within the search results, and I'll run you guys through that as well. I actually recommend taking a look at the search results before filtering so you can actually locate them and learn about them. Speaking of that, if we continue on the key considerations, there are 2 important ones that we need to talk about as well, which are timeline and budget. The timeline is really important. Fiverr lets you pick a delivery on due date that works for you. So if you have a tight deadline or if you need faster turnaround, we actually can commit to that timeline also because you're aligning that in advance with your freelancer. The next one is budget, of course. There is incredible global talent, and you can find those people based on your budget with the most competitive prices in the market. And now I'll just minimize here so I can actually go onto the marketplace and share with you a little bit about how Fiverr looks. So this is the Fiverr homepage. I'm currently logged out, so this is what you guys should be seeing also if you go and type fiverr.com. As you can see here, these are the 8 verticals we spoke about. Actually, we just launched this new vertical called data, so we're at 9 now. I just need to update the numbers. There are several of these categories that are relevant to the services that we're going to be talking about today. So for example, in graphics and design, you can see book design services, as mentioned earlier. In digital marketing, you'll be able to find book and ebook marketing services. At first, the catalog might look a bit overwhelming. We have a lot of services and categories, and maybe navigating through them is not the most intuitive way to go about it. That's why you can always rely on the search bar and search for anything that you're looking for. So let's say I'm looking for ghostwriting services. When I type in ghostwriting, a page that looks like a listing page opens up to me. What I'm seeing here are gigs. The gigs are the services that the freelancers have opened when they created their account on Fiverr. Here are the badges that we're talking about. So here we can see that this ghostwriter that tells us I will ghostwrite an ebook for you is a pro verified seller, which means that they've gone through a thorough process of vetting in order to earn that badge. This one is a Fiverr's Choice seller. This means that because of the ratings, both internal and external and public ratings, the system has chosen and selected them as a seller that they want to promote in the marketplace because of the high quality services that they're offering. So if I actually click on the gig is the term that we use at Fiverr for the service. We see a few things. One, a headline about what the service is. So I will be the pen to your thoughts, aka your ghostwriter. These are the words that this seller chose in order to showcase what their service is. We have three levels of pricing: the basic, the standard, and the premium package. Each pricing tier will offer different elements. So the basic one includes up to 2,000 words and topic research. If I go to the standard one, I can, the currency is the shekel. So let me just go to USD. For $50, you can get up to 2,000 words. In her standard package for $180, you can go up to 5,000 words. You get also an outline for your book. And if you have copy written already, she'll do the text rewrite, and also topic research, and so on and so forth. More things that we can learn about here is this seller is also a level 2 seller. We spoke about these ones. We saw that there are at least 50 orders completed on time with a minimum of a 4.7 rating. So this is a good one. She shares some information about the service itself. Here, there are some more details about the focus areas or the fields of expertise for her. She will write about fiction. The genre will be literary fiction, and her language is English. So this is great to know. And a bit more about her. She's from South Africa. She takes about 4 hours to respond. And hear a little bit about her experience. If you click on her username, you can see actually there are more services that she offers. So other than this one that we were looking at earlier, she also offers a different one that is more expensive and probably includes all kinds of other things in her pricing, such as perhaps higher word count. Here you can see also the ratings. So if I'm a person that I always like to read what other people think before I purchase something, whether if it's a service or a product, and having here a quick way of looking at the feedback that the person has gotten is a great indication of something, like whether if I want to reach out to this person or not. And last, you can always contact the seller. After you sign up and you register, you can contact the seller and ask any questions that you may have. Share about your project, align expectations, anything that you may need. We also have, and we will share this at the end, we have a place in the marketplace that is completely dedicated to book-related services. So instead of typing in here or having to scroll through this catalog, you can go to this link, stores/book publishing, and I'll paste it in the chat after. You can find all the services that are related to book creation. So whether if it's writing or editing and proofreading, or creating the cover and the layout, or promoting it through book marketing or email marketing perhaps, or formatting your book to convert it to ebook. Or even an audiobook. So really the services are pretty much unlimited. The amount of talent that you'll find here is pretty extraordinary. So this is a little bit about how to navigate through the marketplace. If you have any questions, please write them in the chat and I'll make sure to get to them once I'm finished with the presentation. And I just have a few more slides to share with you guys. So aside from all the badges and the quality indicators, at the end of the day, behind every gig, there's a real human. And these are the freelancers, the real people. So it's really easy to forget that, especially now after having spent so much time working from home and being behind a screen and a Zoom screen, you forget that there's actual humans. And it's the same here, where it's other people that are delivering this type of service. So we always encourage to talk to them, to communicate, and not only in Fiverr, but always communication is key, aligning expectations up front. And the more aligned and the clearer things are, the stronger the partnership will be, and most likely the better the result will be as well. So as I showed, just an indication to click on the Contact Me button if you want to get some more information and background about the seller before diving in. and making a purchase, just to make sure that expectations are aligned and that everything that you need you can get from that freelancer. So contacting a freelancer is just as important to finding the right one. And in order to find the right freelancer, there are a few things that we recommend doing beforehand. One is doing your research and understanding what success means for you and what is it that you actually need. It's oftentimes it's really hard for freelancers to read your mind and to understand what you want if it's not clear for you. If you know what you need and you have exactly the guidelines that you need to share, the communication and the process will be much, much smoother. The next one is to create a project scope. So once you understand what your goals are and you create a scope that includes an overview, a budget, a timeline, references, expected outcomes, and all that, you can send it as an attachment to make sure the freelancer is on the same page before you even start working together. And last, draft your message. Why not just drafting a message that has been well thought, compiling all the information that you've gathered. And actually, you will probably reach out to a few freelancers at the same time to understand budgets and timelines. So having a well-crafted message beforehand and basically copying and pasting will make work way, way more efficient for you. And also you'll gather the answers that you need from all of them. So I hope that this was helpful for you guys on how to navigate through the marketplace and how to find the right freelancer. The next thing will be to get ready and to actually go into the Fiverr website and start navigating through the page and seeing what you need and what you don't. If you're looking to write your ebook, we have a course on Fiverr that is actually, this is one of our top sellers. His name is Chris. He actually created this course in which he shares about how to create and self-publish your book or ebook. He tackles all kinds of topics from ideation to topic research, how to edit your book and how to find the right person to help you market it and where to publish it, etc. So this might be interesting for you guys to look at. The next one is Fiverr Discover. Here is the URL too, and I'll also share these links in the chat. Fiverr Discover is basically a place for inspiration. I can actually show you how it looks. All the visual services that we offer, or many of them, are showcased here. So here we basically take beautifully designed deliveries from Fiverr freelancers, and we just showcase them in this portal. As you can see, these are anyway from album covers to book covers, like here. And it's just another way of getting inspired and just brainstorming and seeing what's out there. And the last thing that I wanted to share with you guys is for participating, we wanted to offer you a 10% discount on your first purchase. The code is there. Also, Chelsea pinned it in the chat. So feel free to use it. Actually, we encourage you to use it and to explore Fiverr for the first time. So yeah, this is what I have for you. So let's go to the Q&A.
Awesome. Alex, thank you so much for walking us through the presentation and getting us familiar with Fiverr. We have a couple questions in the chat already. Thank you so much for dropping those in there. Please, if you have any others, go ahead and drop them in. We'll start off with Marianne. So Marianne's question is, I write family histories. Any freelancers familiar with genealogy writing standards?
So the beauty about Fiverr is that you'll probably find anything that you're looking for. And I'm gonna challenge what I'm saying by actually searching for what you need. So let's see.
Oh, wow. Looking in real time. Very cool.
Let's see what we can find. So we see that there are some research services. So I will help you research and write your family history, genealogy research. So this might be a good first step to get to it. I'm not sure if that's exactly what you're looking for, but it's definitely something interesting. So I'm actually going to take a note and see if this is something that we could offer a dedicated service for. So thank you for that.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you, Mary Ann, for that question. And I think one of the great things about Fiverr that you showed us today is how easy it is to search and navigate and see, the spectrum and plethora of services offered. So Mary Ann, thank you for that one. The next question is from Donna, and she is asking, my first book is nonfiction. Should my freelancer be experienced with both? Donna, I'm assuming what you're asking here is, should you be finding a freelancer who is familiar with fiction and nonfiction? Alex, I don't know if you can speak to that or what they need to look at.
So regarding the fiction or nonfiction, in the end, that's completely up to you. If you know what the field or the niche is that you're looking for, I always encourage to dive into the specifics and find a person that is experienced in the specific field that you're looking for, just because that will probably ensure that there are no disappointments and that you will trust the person that you're working with from the beginning. But that's just a personal recommendation.
Thank you. And thank you, Donna, for that question. The next one that we have is from Robin. This one is sort of a twofer, possibly three-fer. So I think that there are some of these questions that I can answer. And then, Alex, I'll turn it over to you. So the question is, what does the name Fiverr mean? Alex, I'll let you take that. And do you work with hardcover and paperback fiction authors? So the second part of the question, I'll go ahead and answer, and then I'll turn it over to you, Alex. So friends sell their books on Amazon. Can you guys help distribute paperback or hardcover? At targeted bookstores, I can identify where I have relationships, but no clue if they'd buy it to sell. Yeah, so Robin, you kind of, I believe, answered your own question. So for the bookstores that you're referring to, those are, in most cases, especially for independent authors, those relationships are sort of negotiated by the author and the bookstore. If you have relationships there, as you indicated you do, that's obviously a great start. Then really every bookstore, especially independent bookstore, can handle taking on independent authors differently. So those are conversations that are really best had directly with you and the bookstore. For your question about selling books on Amazon, so people can do that several ways. You can obviously go straight to Amazon via KDP and upload your book. They do hardcover and paperback. I believe they can do both of those. However, another option would be you can go through Lulu, and we will distribute your book through our bookstore as well as Amazon, Ingram, and Barnes & Noble. So definitely check out our distribution options for more information on that. And then, Alex, I'll kick over this to you again. So what does the name Fiverr mean? And do you work with hardcover and paperback fiction authors?
So great question. The name Fiverr. So Fiverr is a company that was founded 11 years ago. We just celebrated the 11th anniversary. And when they got started, the idea was to sell digital services for $5. And that's where the Fiverr came from. Now, like Fiverr 5 is the minimum price that you'll see in the marketplace, but also not to the pricing that we encourage or we like seeing so much. After 10, 11 years that we've been gathering a lot of experience and amazing talent, the price points have gone much, much higher, which I guess is a great indication. And regarding the second question about whether we work with hardcover and paperback fiction authors, the answer is yes. We can do the same exercise of searching for it, and I'm sure we'll find it. We have thousands and thousands of freelancers in the marketplace in the world of content writing and book writing and fiction, nonfiction. So I'm sure you'll be able to find the person that you need there. Thank you, Robin.
Perfect. Thank you. And yeah, thank you, Robin. Okay, next question comes from Michael, who is already a Fiverr user. So he says, I've already used Fiverr for a lot of quick artwork. Are all works for hire allowed to be used for commercial projects? I found a few that want to upcharge for a license to use their work publicly. A true work for hire gives the client all rights. That's a great question, Michael. Yeah,
it's definitely a great question. And this is something that we're still working on improving and making sure that it's clear. We're trying to have freelancers to move away from the upgrading the license to give full commercial rights. For us, the idea is at the moment that you hire a service and you buy something, you have full ownership and full commercial rights to it. And this is what we're trying to pitch and to instill in the company and in the freelancers. So it's work that we're constantly doing with the freelancers to go towards.
All right. Thank you, Michael, for that question. And Marianne's is looping back around. So I wanted to clarify that she said, I don't need the research. She just needs the book designing and some editing. So I think, and Alex, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it sounds like, obviously there's a group of service providers who are familiar with genealogy in that field. So it sounds like for specific questions, once you've found someone who is offering a service related to what you're looking for, are these conversations for specific things you're looking for, Alex? Is it best to just reach out to the Fiverr service provider and ask them the specifics for your project?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the more information that you share, the better. Regarding what you specifically need, like you wrote in the chat of book design and editing, I don't think you would have any trouble to find. We have amazing illustrators also and graphic designers that can make beautiful things. And I'm sure genealogy is one of them too. So yeah, just if you have your brief ready with your project needs and you set expectations beforehand and you understand the freelancer's expertise, there shouldn't be any misalignment and you should find the right person to help you with all of that.
Yeah, I appreciate you reiterating that, Alex. And I just want to kind of hit on a point that you spoke about, is just having your brief and having your outline. And that slide that you shared of the things that you want to be sure you have ahead of time going into these conversations, because, there can be gray area, there can be a lot of back and forth. So making sure on your end, what is your budget? What is your timeline? Going back to Marianne's example, I need design and editing, and this is a niche. It's specific for genealogy. So making sure that you have all of that sorted out so that these conversations can be productive as possible from the offset. Let's see. Okay, so Felipe, I'm sorry if I'm ruining your name, but thank you for your question. And his question is, I have completed 2 drafts of my next novels. I am looking for developmental and other editing level. So developmental and then another type of editing. What would be my best strategy?
Great question. And actually, I'll link it to John's question also, which is also regarding the book editing. So we created recently a dedicated category for book editing. So if you go to writing and translation, book editing, you'll see freelancers that are completely dedicated to book editing and proofreading. There are all kinds of editing services. Also, it's I don't think there is a by the book definition of the types of editing services. I think I've been reading about it a lot in order to build the best structure for this category also, and the best ways of the best type of services that can be offered within book editing. And there are all kinds of them, from developmental to line editing to structural editing. So each freelancer kind of defines their service a bit with their own definition too. If you know what you're looking for, or if you don't and you also want to just reach out and ask, that's one thing. Another thing that you can do is you can use the button of the service options and look for the different services included. So if you need a structural edit or a line edit, we're just making sure that your voice and tone is consistent across the manuscript, or you want someone to review and critique your book, you can just click on that and it will filter the people that offer that type of service. So yeah, I hope I was able to answer those 2 questions in one. Thank you. Thank you guys for sharing.
Yeah, thank you both. And Michael has another really good question that I would like to hear more of, and I'm sure others would as well. So you mentioned marketing, and can you explain what sort of marketing help a freelancer from Fiverr can provide?
Okay, so that's a great question. We have a whole vertical dedicated to digital marketing services. So anywhere from having someone to help you with your marketing strategy, or someone to manage your social media account, or putting together your community management process, or your email marketing campaign, your content calendar, and so on and so forth. Like those are some examples of the practically endless type of services that you could find in Fiverr. Of course, it's a digital marketplace, so all these services are digital. But yeah, you're super welcome to navigate through it and see a bit more about what we can offer in the digital marketing world.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Okay. And Robin, I am looking at your follow-up comment that you sent. So I'm trying to figure out the best piece to pull out and try to answer. So I think that the questions that you're asking, as far as what format do you need a graphic in, as far as the licensing things, I think that that's a conversation to have with your service provider. And Alex, if you have any other tips or info on that, please feel free to share. And then for your point, Robin, about what format do you need the graphic in for covers, I think that would be based on the service provider's preference and maybe what tools or software they're using to develop the cover. That might have something to do with it. But again, I think these are all questions that maybe could be covered in your brief. Alex, I don't know if you can shed any light on that or maybe give a better answer than I did.
No, actually, I completely agree with what you said. I think a lot of it is aligning expectations with a freelancer and your service provider directly. I think that each person will give you their own perspective and how they work. It's in the end, as mentioned, it's people working, right? So the best thing to do is just communicate, share the concerns and the needs, and they'll just offer what they can from the best of their experience and knowledge.
Perfect. All right. Well, again, thank you to everyone who has been asking questions so far. Let's see. Oh, Robin, I see you've got one for Lulu. Can we upload the graphic for cover directly to Lulu? I used the Lulu template cover last time. Yes. So, I mean, as long as it's to spec and you can find that on the templates, on the cover templates, then you shouldn't have a problem uploading it. It will need to be a PDF. And so as long as you upload your PDF and it is to spec to fit your book, then you won't have any issues there. Let's see. Okay. Michael is a huge champion for Fiverr over here, suggesting everyone to explore the many great services Fiverr can provide. So the creative assistant seems unlimited. That's great. Yes. I mean, there are so many opportunities and options available on Fiverr. And we look at it obviously at Lulu, and a lot of our authors and creatives have used it. If you're not familiar, it's just such a great way to explore all kinds of different avenues and opportunities for your book. Alex, I want to ask one thing before. Oh, Stephen just popped in a question. We'll get to that in a minute. But I have one question that's sort of kind of looking on the other side of the Fiverr spectrum. So a lot of folks listening to this presentation that have registered or in the Lulu community in general, obviously are writers. Some of them are editors. Some of them kind of have these skill sets. What does it look like to be a service provider in the Fiverr Marketplace?
Great question. So listen, in the end, Fiverr, our intention at Fiverr is to promote the world of offering digital services. And there is no reason why, and especially with these times of COVID and working from home and many people not having a job to go to, there's no reason why you wouldn't be able to share your experience and to offer it in the Fiverr Marketplace. I personally opened my own gig on my own service on business plans, because that's like on my free time. That's one of the things that I enjoy doing, research and building my own business plans. And in the end, it's an additional source of income. It's building your network that is very global. And also it's a world of a freelancer. Being a freelancer is also not easy. It doesn't have the nice to haves of a consistent salary, but you do build your portfolio. It takes time, but you get your clients, you get that side income, and you're also part of a community. I can only speak for Fiverr because this is the one that I know, but we really take care of our community of sellers. So we always want to bring in more buyers, but in the end, we wouldn't have any buyers if we don't have the right sellers. We're always trying to help them grow. We have a dedicated team that works with sellers, so our community or CSM team, and We're creating webinars and all kinds of content to help them grow their business, and creating courses also for the sellers to improve their own skills, to be able to offer different services in addition to the ones that they currently offer in the marketplace. So if you guys do have services that you want to offer as a freelancer, I really encourage you to open a gig at Fiverr and experience it by yourselves.
Yeah, I just couldn't help it. I mean, like you said, with COVID and everything going on, I mean, it just seems to translate nicely for the skill sets that, anyone finds himself with that, may enjoy some extra revenue. And if you're not interested in money, then that's okay too. But I felt like, especially for the audience that'll be listening to this presentation and that tuned in today, that might be, worth percolating and thinking about. Okay, so thank you, Alex. I know that wasn't what we invited you to talk about today, but thank you for sharing that.
Great question.
Also, anybody who needs a business plan, Alex has got you. Check her out on Fiverr. So a couple more questions here. So Stephen, for a book cover, is there a difference between getting an ebook cover and a physical cover?
So I'm no expert, so I don't want to give you an answer that will not be what you're looking to hear, and maybe not even the right one. So I'll take that as homework, but I'd encourage you to speak to a seller that is more experienced in the field. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. We love transparency. So Stephen, I would say yes. I know for Lulu specifically, the ebook cover, if you created a cover for an ebook, you can't just apply that to your print book because the dimensions are different, and depending on the size and everything, that the specs will differ between the formats. But I think that, again, that's something great to put in your pitch sheet or your details that you're going to share with the provider, and just let them know going into it, I plan on having a print version, I plan on having an ebook version, because that can really help dictate, what you create on the cover, because you want to have that really strong thumbnail that's going to resonate via ebook or print. So I think that's a great question. And I know that for our platform and for I would say most others, it is going to be 2 different files and 2 different formats. Let's see. And Alex, already on top of it, putting up the link to this really helpful video here. All right, I will do a last call for questions as we wrap up. Again, Alex, thank you. Hopefully everyone will take advantage of this Lulu F10 for 10% off first-time purchases on Lulu. I do have one other question, and Alex, I apologize if you covered this already, but just in regards of payment and budget, when does payment, is it on delivery that you pay for the service provider, or does that sort of depend on the gig and the person that's providing it?
That's a very good question. So normally you will pay for the service upfront. If we're talking about a big service, like it could be writing a book where you might be spending a few $1,000s, and you don't want to be putting all the money up front, you can divide the project into what we call milestones. And that's an agreement that you can create with the seller. So for example, you can decide that the first milestone will be the outline. So you pay X amount for the outline, and then for the first 3 chapters, and then for the following ones. In the end, you pay before you get the delivery, but you can always split the payment for bigger projects.
Oh, that's awesome. Very good to know. Great. All right, everyone. Well, I don't see any other questions coming through. So with that, Alex is actually at the end of her day. I'm in the middle of mine. So I know that she's eager to get to happy hour. I'm just kidding. She's more than willing to hang out with me. But since I don't see any other questions coming through, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Alex, huge thank you to Fiverr for taking the time and walking us through the tremendous platform that they put together in support of the gig economy and support of freelancers. We appreciate that so much. So again, Lulu F10 for 10% off first-time purchases on Fiverr. You can check them out going to fiverr.com or from the link on Lulu's partners page. You can find them there as well. Alex, anything else before we sign off?
No, just to thank you all for being here and for the great questions. And thank you, Chelsea and the Lulu team, for giving us the opportunity to share more about Fiverr. And very excited to continue our partnership and our work together.
Yes, we are too. And it sounds like everyone that joined us today got a lot out of it and appreciates your time. So huge thank you again. I hope everyone has a great day, whatever lays ahead of you. And hopefully we'll see you back here for the next webinar Wednesday, when that will be next month. So thanks again, everyone. Alex, thank you so much. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.